Give me a K! Give me an I! Give me another K! And another I. What does that spell? Kiki! Just roll it. Girl, it's the Kiki. The house don't work. Yes! Girl, bye. OTO shade. Girl, the library is open. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Kiki. Thank you so much for joining me again this week for our review show of RuPaul's Drag Race, and this is season 9, so girl, get into it. First things first, if you aren't subscribed to me, guys, you're missing out. Like, not being funny, but you're missing out, so hit the subscribe button. It's like, literally, can you see it's right there. So anyway, we are talking about episode 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 9, which is like, oh, she already brought it on, like, it's basically a bring it on parody. Oh no, she better done not brought it on but biscuits. So this is the episode where we find out which queen is coming back to make up 14 queens for the actual lineup, because, you know, episode 1 was just like a test run. So like literally immediately as the show starts, like it's revealed that Cynthia Lee Fontaine is the queen that's coming back to compete once again in the race. Not that we all knew that months ago, but we kind of all knew that months ago. Surprise, surprise, the cuckoo has returned. By the way, side note, I actually started counting how many times the word cuckoo was said this episode, but I actually lost count after 4,297. Imagine there's like a thwarp there, because I can't thwarp with this fan, it's just a paper one. I need to get a proper thwarpable fan. So the queens go back into the workroom, and the contestants seem a little rattled that a previous contestant has returned, because they know that Cynthia's going to know the system, the setup, what to expect. So she has a slight edge on her competition, despite the fact that she went home, what, 3rd? Kimora Black seems to be especially rattled by this, because now she knows that she's not the only ass queen, so her unique selling point has now vanished. And she's still saying that that ass is not filled. I'm like, okay, Kimora Minaj. In fact, now's the time for me to look. Thwarp. Shade. Oh, love that sound. I'm so glad I found that. So right off the bat, Lisa Kudrow then walks in, and I'm like, Ru's changed. So I love Lisa Kudrow, right? But that whole thing was more pointless than when Moby came in last season. Do you remember that? No, that was in season 6. Oh my God. No, 7. What? Lisa Kudrow walks in and they're like, oh my God, it's Lisa Kudrow. Are we going to do like a friends challenge? Or are we going to do like a, you know, the comeback challenge? No. She's just like, hey, I was just chilling. I thought I'd come in and say hi, check out which queens are, you know, competing this year. Literally, she was on for like 30 seconds. Let's be real, they probably only just had her on there so that they've got something interesting for the trailer. It's like, oh look, Lady Gaga, Lisa Kudrow. It's like, but she's not really there. This is really useful because this is a really hot day today, and I needed like all the breeze I can get. I'm like, spring has sprung, you see, and like the UK's getting some unseasonable weather, you know, sunshine. Can't deal with it. Also, side tip, like, if you've got one of these for summer, spray your favourite perfume on it. It will linger all day and it makes the air smell lovely. Really good tip, that. You can have that one for free. I know, I'm so generous. Anyway, back to Drag Race. So the main challenge this week is that the girls have to put together this cheerleading routine. And so Nina and Cynthia were decided to be head cheerleaders. Side note, Lakeisha Quiani was devastated she didn't get head cheerleader, so she promptly had a hissy fit and stormed off. So they're choosing their team, and Valentina was picked last. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, I know Eureka put it down to her being in drag for only 10 months, but she did well in the first episode. And like, for an athletic challenge, she looks like she would be able to turn out a bit of cheerleading. So I was like, a bit surprised she was picked last. Especially since she's so endearing. Like, oh my God, she's so lovely. I can't even. I'm just like, I love her. Totally, like, there's just not like a bad bone in her body. Well, okay, no, I can't be rude about Valentina. She's adorable. So the girls start practicing, and the main bits out of that 5-minute encounter is that Jaymes struggles with his characterization, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine is just completely over the top. I mean, she's always a little bit over the top, but this is like something else. It's almost like she's been sniffing the marker pens before she came back into the workroom. She's sort of a little bit like... Okay, so while we're talking about Cynthia, okay, like, let's talk. Okay, why has she come back? I don't hate Cynthia. I think she's a fierce queen, and I thought she was very funny and very well deserving of Miss Congeniality in season 8. But I'm like, why is she back? I understand, like, when Shangela came back, that was a whole big twist. You know, she was the first one to go home, so she hadn't really had a chance to show off what she could do. And it was like a really big twist in season 3, but, oh, spoiler alert. But like, this one, I don't know, she sort of, you know, it was in like 3rd place or something, or was it 4th, because there'd been how many eliminations and all that kind of thing. So, you know, she had a stint, and I, like, is it because she was unwell? Because I know that she's had like a cancer scare, or I say scare, she's got liver cancer, so it's like not really a scare, it's like a proper full-on, you know, trauma. But was it because they haven't explained why she's back. Was it because when she was competing, she was actually diagnosed, and so that she couldn't compete to her best level? Because if that's the case, fine. Yeah, like, she deserves a second chance. Not to say that she doesn't regardless, but it is certainly an odd one for her to come in like 4th. And if it's just a case of they just wanted to bring a queen back, they could have brought back anyone. You know, especially like, I think the people who go home first kind of have probably more of a right to that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because it's going to be interesting to see her back, but like, she's had her go. I don't know. Would that 14th place been better used by an unknown queen to get that moment? I don't know. So, as I say, I don't want to be a dick about it, but if it was because, you know, she was unwell when she was filming, then I get it. I totally get it. But if that all happened afterwards, I don't know. Am I just being a dick? Because I know cancer's serious. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know how serious I know that to be personally. But, yeah. Does anyone know? Let me know. Because I don't want to... I just say, like, it's fun having her back, but I'm just like, why is she back? I just want to know. It's my inner philosopher. I just have to know. I'm inquisitive. Let's find out. Reddit needs to get to work on this one. Okay, so the girls go to rehearse their cheerleading thing, and all those proper cheerleaders are making me feel really guilty, like, that I don't go to the gym enough. And I go like 4 times a week, although I haven't this week. I've been really bad. But usually I'm like 4 times a week. And I'm like, they must live there. And I feel really bad about it. Because I'm like, I want to be able to do backflips and cartwheels and somersaults, and I've never been able to, and I feel really depressed now. Also, can we have a moment for the fact that, like, the Eureka Trinity thing was not mentioned at all in this episode, and obviously the last one it was like, oh, I just want to be Trinity, and they sort of trying to make up this fake rivalry, but I don't know, they don't seem to be that big a rival, because, I mean, Eureka was like getting all handsy with Trinity when she's, you know, falling down from the pyramid, if you know what I'm saying. They're getting real friendly. I think I need an adult. But this challenge is really demanding. Like, they're having to really be put through their paces, and it's like proper intense. You know, it reminds me a little bit of the wrestling one that they did. That was really brutal as well. I also love how petrified Charlie looks, like, throughout this entire rehearsal, because there's a bit where the head coach is like, okay, now lift your legs up to your chest, and Charlie just looks at him, and he doesn't say anything, but you can tell that look just means, are you serious, bitch? Are you fucking kidding me? Freaking love Charlie right now. And that whole thing she pulled in Untucked, where she tells Eureka to just shut up, that was just sublime. Thwop. I bought this because I wanted to really thwop and make a statement and be, no, I can't thwop it, and it's really depressing. I'm going to have to buy another one now. Got this on eBay, so I couldn't tell what I was buying. Sorry. Okay, so then there was this really big bit, which I think is kind of kicked off a little bit on, like, the forums and stuff, but stoning, Stonegate. No, we're not talking about Pearl. Oh, there it is. But stoning gowns and dresses and stuff with, you know, sparkly stones. And Kimura says that stoning is for girls who want to look great without being great. And that stoning is for ugly girls. So I'm then thinking, okay, so she would never wear, like, anything with rhinestones or anything like that, because she's obviously implying here that she got something, she got some talent, she ain't ugly and all that kind of shit. I mean, it would be very awkward if she then happened to, you know, wear an outfit or accessories which happened to have those kind of stones on them. It would be even more embarrassing if she wore them in that very same episode. Thwop. So the next day comes, the girls walk back into the workroom, and Sasha's wearing that damn crown again. I'm like, what is this? Did she, like, rent this or something? Because she's trying to get her money's worth out of this one. How much did that cost? Because she ain't taking that shit off. Is that glued on? Is she pulling a Danny DeVito in Matilda, where the glue sticks to the hat, like the fibers are fused to the hair, and like can't get the hat off. Is that what this is? Because she doesn't seem to take the bloody thing off. So then there was this really adorable moment with Valentina where she was talking about the Virgen de Guadalupe, the Virgin of Guadalupe, who is apparently her drag mother. I'm like, okay. And she's like praying to the Virgen de Guadalupe to get her on the show and to like teach her everything she needs to know and that kind of thing. And like, there's something really like odd about it. At the same time, like so adorable. I love Valentina. If you're watching this, darling, like comment just because like, oh my God, you're adorable. I can't even deal with just how freaking cute every element. She's just like so sweet. I just can't. So we're about to get into the cheerleading task, and Ross Matthews is doing this like, you know, pre-game, I don't know, chat, if you will. And there's just this like really random bit where Lady Gaga is just like falling from the sky like a little spider. And I'm just like, I love that little Easter egg. And I kind of hope that they do like a little Gaga thing in every episode like that, because that would be really funny. Like we could just spend the whole episode trying to find the hidden Easter egg. Even more appropriate because Easter is coming up. So yeah. Come through, Lady Gaga Easter eggs, yes! Although a chocolate one would be better. Let's be real. Chocolate is love. So we get into the cheerleading task. And before we talk about specifics of it, I want to talk about, like, it in general. So I'm not really sure what that whole task was about, really. I don't really see how it kind of works in terms of the canon of Drag Race. Like, I don't know if I'm just being really off base here, because I know a lot of the challenges they've done have been like really like out there, like, you know, the wrestling one, it's got not really much to do with drag, but at least each person there had like a chance to shine and show off. And I just felt with this one, there was too much emphasis on the choreography and that kind of thing, and not enough on the actual drag queens. Don't forget, we're 2 episodes in, and we want to know who these queens are fairly quickly. And I felt with this episode, we didn't really get to see any of them fully. I know some of them stood out, but I mean, let's be real, even the ones that stood out, they only got a minuscule amount of airtime in that. And most of the queens were like being used as props to kind of hold up the other queens as they're doing these crazy moves and stuff. And considering this challenge last year was the Bitch Perfect one, which was sublime. I mean, it was just perfect. And the one before that was whatever anymore. But it was the Glamazonian Airways. But I just feel like this one was just like a little off base. I think it was maybe a little bit too ambitious, because like we just didn't get to see any of the queens really having a moment to shine. So like, what do you guys think? Let me know. Do you think that challenge was a success, or do you agree with me in that it may not have been the right choice for episode 2 when there's 14 queens all vying for attention, and you've got like a 3-minute stint of, you know, roly-polies and tumbles and stuff that a lot of them probably can't even do. Okay, so I mean, as I've said my bit about the cheerleading, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth about it after the runway, so bear with me for that one, because it's going to get good. We're going to spill tea, darling. So the runway, the standouts for me was Shay. I quite liked that one. Charlie, that was spectacular. Aja, I really liked that, although the makeup for me is still a little heavy. I don't know, there's just something a bit off about it. That outfit was glorious though. Jaymes, I really liked that. I thought it was giving me like Marilyn Monroe, that whole kind of, you know, curves and stuff. Michelle was right when she said she's padded right. I mean, that was gorgeous. And also Valentina, that was spectacular. One of the best looks probably to have been on the runway, I think, ever. Like, probably not the best, because I'm still a huge fan of Kim Chi's, you know, mother's look. I was just, oh my God. But, I mean, come on. Unclockable. That whole thing from Valentina. Stunning. And the backstory behind it, adorable. I mean, you can see why I'm totally standing for Valentina right now. Oh my God. So, let's talk about the judging, okay, because we know who's in the bottom and that kind of thing and the top. So the judges were saying that Charlie didn't stand out. But I'm like, he wasn't really given any big moments. He wasn't one of the ones that was like thrown up, so he was, you know, up high. You know, he didn't do any of the really crazy stuff, because, I mean, either they didn't give it to him or because he was, you know, maybe not feeling confident about it. Because I know he's a bit worried about his age, even though he's got nothing to worry about because bitch can turn it out. But like, he wasn't given a big moment to shine. He was there, you know, holding the other girls up so that they could have their moment. And I'm like, so why should he be, I don't know, discredited for that? He did his job. His job was to hold them up and not let them fall, and he did it. again, another problem I have with this whole challenge was that, you know, all these other queens who are having to do, you know, the hard work are then being told you didn't stand out. And it's like, well, I had to have my back to the camera because I'm trying to, you know, stop Shea Coulee from falling flat on her face. And then on the back of that, they were saying that Jaymes didn't stand out and that Valentina committed, and that was obviously a good thing. But I think Jaymes committed as well. I have been drawn to Jaymes. Like, when I first saw the Meet the Queens, I was like, oh, this bitch is going to annoy me. But as soon as that first episode airs, I was like, I kind of get it. And I'm kind of liking it, more so than I thought I would. And then this episode has really solidified my fandom, my fanning of Jaymes Mansfield. And I have obviously been looking for her, but in that challenge, she was snoozy. So she's sleepy. And she committed to that. I felt every time I saw her, she was looking a little bit tired or worn out. And I know she wasn't quite in time with the rest of the girls. And although I think that genuinely was because she just wasn't in time, it worked because the sleepy one is always going to be out of time. And I think she sort of played that up pretty well. So I have to admit, I was a little surprised. I knew that they were going to probably put Jaymes towards the bottom and everything, but I actually think that she did a good job. And those tumbles that she did through Charlie and Sasha, they were pretty good. I mean, the voiceover, I think it was Peppermint, was like, girl, really? And I'm like, really? I thought that was brilliant. The way she did it, you know, she could have easily knocked into one of them and that could have gone totally wrong, but I think she did the double role pretty well. I'm going to say it. So yeah, I was obviously expecting, because of the editing, for Jaymes to be in the bottom, although I'm still not entirely sure it was justified. But maybe as a kind of like, you know, if they were going to do like what they did to a lot of other queens where they sort of like ignite a fire under their butt, put her in the bottom to kind of be like, look, be you, do you kind of thing. I could understand that. So anyway, Jaymes and Kimora ended up in the bottom too. I wasn't really surprised by Kimora. She's complained a lot in the workroom. The outfit that she wore was very similar to the previous one she wore. It's just everything just seems to be straps, really. And obviously in the cheerleader challenge, she didn't really stand out either. But then again, to be honest, I don't think anyone really stood out. I just think there was like varying degrees of like, you know, hogging the 1 second of limelight that they got. So yeah, Jaymes and Kimora were in the bottom too. And it was weird because I didn't expect, when I saw the Meet the Queens and the previews and stuff, I didn't expect Kimora to be in the bottom two so early. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. But when you look back at it, you're like, yeah, I mean, I know a bitch can turn it out, but she didn't really turn it out in this challenge. I'm sorry, darling, but you didn't. So the lip sync for your life is Love Shack by the B-52s, and it's very entertaining. I have to admit, I really like the lip sync, but between you and me, and this is not just like, you know, regular bias, but I really liked James's lip sync. I thought it was really camp and it was really like funky and just really cute, and I thought it worked. Not to say that Kimora's was bad. I think really in terms of energy and the performance they gave, they were very neck and neck, if I'm honest. It wasn't any great shakes, but it wasn't bad from either of them. So when it came to it, I was still expecting them to send Jaymes home. Just from the edit, I was like, I get the feeling they're gearing this up to send Jaymes home early. But to be honest, I thought that James's lip sync was better, and it was much more fun. I was smiling and like giggling through it. I thought her runway outfit was better, and I thought her performance in the challenge was better. So even though I kind of felt I knew which way it was going, it was really like sad when they said that, or confirmed that Jaymes was going home. So yeah, it was a bit of a shame really. I do think that she kind of got into her head a little bit. She didn't quite, you know, put the ignition on properly. But I do think she's got something up there, and I want to see more from her. And like, to be honest, I'm like, bring her back. Like, just bring her back. I'm good. So obviously it was sad enough to see her go. But then if you watch Untucked, that whole moment after she's been eliminated was just, oh my God, heartbreaking. I didn't think I'd get so emotional about, you know, an episode of Drag Race. Maybe I'm just on my time of the month or something, but I'm like that moment where they're saying, he said, what was it? Some dreams are just maybe not meant for you. And he's just sat there crying. I was just like, oh, bitch. Like that, I don't know why, it just got to me. Jaymes just seems so sweet. I think that's what it is. And like just genuine. And I don't know, almost a little bit like an underdog. And I know, you know, in Britain, we love an underdog. So we always warm to them quite quickly, especially on like, you know, talent competitions and song contests and stuff. And so I was just like, oh my god, this is really depressing and really sad, and I totally felt for him. So yeah, really heartbreaking. I've seen lots of messages of support online already. I am totally a huge fan of Jaymes already now, and I'm like, so far, obviously it's the only one, but if they're going to bring anyone back, so far Jaymes is the number one. Granted, there is only one, but I think, yeah, if they did bring someone back, unless some major name goes over the next few episodes, which I've heard rumours that there might be, but I don't know. You can never really take rumours seriously. But yeah, so totally sad, totally devastated that Jaymes is gone, but there we go, it's what's happened. At least she didn't go home in the first episode. I like the fact that no one went home in episode 1, because it means you've got, 2 episodes, so you feel like you've at least done something, and in the first episode you had the double, runway, so they've shown off at least 3 looks. So I think that's fair enough. You did good, Jaymes. We love you lots. So that is everything, guys, that I wanted to cover. What did you think about Jaymes' elimination, the cheerleading task, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine coming back? Let me know in the comments below, because I think these are really important. As well, if you like this video, please drop it a thumbs up, and as I said before, make sure you're subscribed. Yeah, comment. Also follow me on social media to continue the conversation. So I'm on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Chris Says It, you should find me. But I think that is everything. So until next time, until episode 3, my friends, be good, be safe, keep out of trouble, stay fierce, stay fabulous, turn the party, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, see you soon, bye! Thwop, 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 thwop. I didn't realise this was happening today. What are we doing? RuPaul who? What now? Is that about cars?